a bum, but at this point I call that history. Fuck around and grill a pig like some rotisserie. Give a fuck about who you think you is, don't trust the industry. Why you wanna be my enemy? You should really let me be, cause really you can't fuck with me. Nah, you can't fuck with me, little bitch. And yes, I took my heat. Yes, I love to redo, that made me LAME or WISE. My third eye open, I can see. Must protect my inner peace. No response, I can't give you my energy. I don't follow trends, cause bitch, I'ma just
sheep being hovered over the air or being space like literally sheep were being brought up into the air. And they just sat there for a really long time, and I remember being so tripped out, like nobody sees it. Only a few people was able to catch it on their phones. And then like once they fell back down, I remember it just started like raining really hard, and I was trying to get my kids inside quickly. I had a dream that I was like at some type of school or something, or I had to go back to school or something. I remember being in the hallways to like get ready to go to school, and it's like I couldn't find any of my classes for some reason. It's like previous to, I knew I was supposed to be going or something like that, or maybe like I lost my schedule, so I didn't know where to go. And not only that, but once it got time for me to get ready to go to my classes, almost like the school rearranged, and I no longer knew where I was, or I no longer knew how to get to my class in a sense. And I remember as I'm like going through the hallways trying to, like, my memory is just going blank to the point where I couldn't even ask a person for help, because it's like I don't even know my teacher, I don't know shit, you know. And as the hallways are clearing out more and more, I began to notice that the only people who would be left in the hallway was like these people, like they weren't talking. Well, they were talking, but they were kind of like in their own world, and they would just like scrape the walls basically, and they would mumble something to themselves, and like they would be going like in a pattern damn near, like, or it's like every other hallway that I went down, one would like pass me. And I remember trying my hardest not to be touched by these people, because they kind of were like creeping me out. And I remember running into a friend of mine, and the same girl who I actually came to the school with, I ended up running into her and seeing her in her own class. And so she kind of was like, knowing that I wasn't supposed to be in there, and she's like looking at me like, Shani, what are you doing? And I remember going to go kind of like sit off to myself, or sit off with these other group of kids who I knew were not a part of that class. And I ended up seeing this guy who I went to school with that I know. He kind of like waved at me and was like, yeah, I'm up in here. And so I thought that was like kind of funny or whatever. And when I left up out of this area, I went into like down the same long way hallway or whatever. And I remember going into like this bathroom, and when I went into the bathroom, she ended up coming in the bathroom with me and was like asking me like, was I okay, and did I need help and stuff like that. And I told her yes, and that I needed to find my class and stuff. And it makes me telling her this, I seen one of the people that was scraping the walls come into this bathroom area, and I was basically telling her how they've been like kind of creeping me out the whole time. And she was like, yeah, don't pay attention to them, like I'm hearing in my head the lost ones or something like that. And then I started hearing the girl chant, like she was saying like evil, but the way that she was saying it, she was breaking the syllables down. And that shit, even me talking about it right now, is giving me like goosebumps. But I don't know what the fuck that was about. But yeah, I also remember once I was able to get to my class area, there was this girl who had died. I guess she was supposed to have been our classmate or been a part of the school or whatever. And so I remember trying to help these kids like type up this note for a friend of hers who knew her, and we wanted to like get answers to find out certain answers about her death or something like that, because it was like a little fishy to us. I also remember being like in this like it was like a group of kids who had kind of stood up against this teacher who was kind of like annoying in a sense, and she was just on everybody's ass all the time. And I remember her trying to like call a certain student out and get them to come out of the stands, and was about to basically write them up or just make them like leave the school or get kicked out of the school or something. And I remember all of the kids started like standing up to where she wouldn't know, or the principal or nobody would know which student she was actually talking about. And so we all started like singing a certain song, like just joining together singing like on some straight empowerment shit. And we were kind of like just telling her to get the fuck, and she's like annoying. She's always messing with somebody, so she need to get the fuck. And like the teachers were kind of like looking like, well, you know. And I remember once we like got out to our own groups, I was in some type of like supposed to be dance class or some shit like that, and we were supposed to be like doing like a choreography and showing, like it was like we had this open ass window and we were supposed to be like showing people. And so everybody was like going around to they turn or whatever, and like none of them knew what the fuck to do. Like everybody's just looking blank and stuck. It was only one girl who somewhat did something. But when it got to the boy, he was aggravated because he already didn't want to be in a class in general, and he felt that everyone was going to think that he was gay or something for being in a dance class. But he was very, very smart. He was very, very intellectual. He was like, I don't know shit about dance. He was like, but I'll tell y'all some facts. And he was like, he said something about the aliens are going to come down and get rid of all the radiation technology. And everybody was just like kind of like stuck and looking at him like, what the fuck? And like I was the only one who really genuinely knew what he was talking about. And he also mentioned about the beds that they put these children, these newborns in when they're first born. I feel like it gives off a lot of radiation for some reason. Like it's the light when they put them underneath that little light to see, I guess, if they got I don't know, it's some type of disease or something. I'm gonna have to look it up to make sure I don't want to say the wrong name. Or it's like something that they put them under like right after they're born that has like some type of light or whatever, and whatever that is, it gives off a lot of radiation. And he was like, they're gonna get rid of those. And he was like, and they're just gonna have regular like little crib beds to be in or whatever. And he was basically saying how, like, just, again, a lot of the technology was about to be stripped from us. All of the things that we think are good for us, but it's really harmful. And I kind of just carried that fact with me into this room. And also, I remember she had skipped me, and I was mad because I knew what I was going to do. And she skipped me, and I was pissed that she skipped me, and I went and asked her once I was able to find her. I was asking her, like, why did you skip me? I was like, out of all I said, none of them knew what the hell they were doing, or when you called on each one of them, they didn't know, and the only person who would have known something, you didn't call on. And she was like, well, she's like, I wouldn't have thought that you would have known what to do or whatever. And I remember like grabbing her face and was like, do I look like a dumbass to you? I'm the smartest fucking one in this class. Do I look like a dumbass? And everybody started like laughing because they thought that was the funniest shit. And it was like, yeah, she kind of is the smartest one in here or whatever. But yeah, like, I don't know. That just kind of sums up the dream for the most part.